In the Monday, October 20th, episode of Young and Restless, teasers preview that Nate receives a surprise invitation. Also, Christine's bachelorette party takes an unexpected turn. Finally, Phyllis plots her revenge. Take a look through this Y&R spoilers gallery for a look at that and some other drama coming up in this episode. And don't forget to check out the full spoilers video for the week. From Alpilseel, Nate, Sean Dominic, Jack, Peter Bergman, Devin, Brighton James, and Michael, Christian J. LeBlanc, are on hand to help celebrate Danny's, Michael Damian, upcoming marriage to Christine. What is Michael reading to the group? The men take a moment to toast the groom on his upcoming marriage. Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, comes down the stairs and hears many familiar voices, which won't make her happy. She is not going to take being left out of the festivities lightly. Phyllis is having a hard time with Danny's upcoming marriage to her nemesis Christine. It appears that she is taking one last stab at convincing the rock star that he should stop the wedding. But does Phyllis really want him back? Or is she simply trying to ruin things for Christine? It certainly wouldn't be the first time. Devin and Abby, Melissa Ordway, have been enjoying married life for a while now. He's always happy to have a reason to be in the jazz lounge, which is dedicated to his father, Neil. As Devin and Abby catch up with Diane, Susan Walters, R., and Tracy, Beth Maitland, second from R., the woman of the hour, Christine, Laura Lee Bell, is seen descending the stairs. Guest of honor Christine happily wears a bride crown while at her bachelorette party. Abby smiles as she watches the goings-on. Christine is the center of attention, as she should be on her special night, while Diane, Lauren, Tracy E. Bregman L., Victoria, Amelia Heinley C., Abby and Tracy celebrate her upcoming nuptials with champagne. All the women turn when Phyllis crashes the party. Considering how miserable she has been to Christine, she is the last person the bride-to-be wants to be any part of the festivities. What will the ladies do about Phyllis? Nate is a good friend to Victoria and makes sure that the evening isn't hitting her too hard, as she's still mourning the loss of Cole. Of course, he's still mourning the loss of his half-brother Damien. Is he also checking to see how she's coping in light of her nephew, Noah, being in a terrible car accident? It looks like the two separate parties celebrating the happy couple have converged. A special moment appears to be drawing applause from Jack, Diane, Lauren, and Tracy. There is a lot of water under the bridge for Lauren and Tracy, but these two have put the past behind them and get along well now. The days of fighting over Danny are over, and both are thrilled that he and Christine are getting remarried. Is Danny serenading the love of his life? Christine is all smiles as the man she loves sits next to her and shows that he only has eyes for her. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of October 20th reveals Kyle Abbott will decide to do a little investigating. Also coming up, Mariah Copeland will come face-to-face with her past. Plus, Nick Newman will seek out Sienna Bacall, and Daniel Romalotti will have to make a hard decision. Y&R spoilers tease Daniel will be surprised when a tipsy Tessa Porter plants a kiss on him. He'll kiss her back, of course, but when he helps her up to her suite and Tessa asks him to stay, he'll be faced with a tough choice. Should he do the right thing and walk away, or spend the night with her? In Boston, Mariah will be in shock when someone from her past shows up at the clinic. Rumor has it that person will be none other than Ian Ward. As viewers will recall, everyone thought Ian was dead. However, he opened his eyes in the ambulance. So, will Ian actually show up, or will Mariah just imagine he's there? Meanwhile, Nick will determine to find Sienna, the woman who called Noah Newman's phone. A spoiler photo shows Claire Newman at the hospital to check on her cousin. So, will Nick mention Sienna to his niece? If so, Claire will know exactly where Nick can find her. Either way, he will meet with Sienna this week. Other Y&R spoilers tease Kane Ashby will come to an understanding with Phyllis Summers. Plus, Sharon Newman will fret about Noah's condition, and Sally Spectra will go out of her way for Audra Charles. Finally, Kyle's not about to give up on Claire anytime soon. Even though she told him to go home, he'll continue to linger in LA like a bad smell. And when Kyle spots Holden Novak with Sienna, he'll decide to dig into his past. But will he find out anything alarming about Holden? Or should Kyle just take Claire's advice and return home to his son in Genoa City? Hey, Y&R fans! Are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the soap scoop for young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless is revisiting one of the show's most dramatic stories ever, thrusting two of its top performers, Sharon Case and Joshua Morrow, into the forefront in the process. For their performances as parents, Sharon and Nick, whose son Noah has been in a car wreck, Soap Central is bestowing Performer of the Week honors on the two. Poor Sharon was alone in a strange city, Los Angeles, when she got word that Noah, her son with Nick, had been in a car accident. Case not only played the angst of a mother's worst nightmare, but she did so alone. Only when Nick, as composed as a helpless dad can be, arrived, did Sharon fully allow herself to collapse. Morrow, who excels in stories involving his children, was clearly affected when Sharon told him that she had surmised it didn't sound good. "I don't think I can do this again," a stunned Sharon revealed. "Why does this keep happening to our babies?" Case played Sharon as a woman who was going through a nightmare déjà vu that no one should have to endure. She brought shock, sadness, grief, confusion, and despair all at once to her performances. Meanwhile, Morrow had Nick draw on every reserve of strength that he had to protect Sharon, staying optimistic not only for her, but for himself too. Ironically, Sharon was alone again after Nick had gone off to find a doctor when medical personnel came to inform Sharon that Noah had made it out of surgery. "I hope that this will be a sign that he's going to make it through this ordeal, because I cannot lose another child. Not right now, not like this," Sharon said as she appeared to be talking to God. "You already took Cassie, Carmen Grimes, from us, and Mariah's in so much pain, and Faith Raylan Castor needs her brother. She needs him, and Nick just couldn't bear it. Please let this be a sign. Save our son. Save our baby. Save our baby. Oh God, I am asking you for a miracle, please. Please." Later, Sharon gave Nick an update. Noah survived surgery and was being moved to a room. Both felt like they could breathe again. Sharon asked Nick to distract her. As Nick updated his ex on Faith and Christian, Sharon lamented that there was no real update on their son beyond the one they'd been given. The two held hands in unison. Morrow leaned into Nick's trademark charm as he brought Sharon a candy bar, hoping to lift her spirits. The two shared that they were both curious as to why Noah was out in Malibu going through a canyon while his place was in West Hollywood. They played detective, trying to figure out what Noah had been going through before his accident. Case and Morrow's long-running chemistry was evident in these scenes as the two thought along the same path, focusing on what was truly important, Noah's recovery. Case and Morrow played their characters as being closer than ever, which is ironic. Cassie's death ultimately tore the duo apart. Might Noah's near-fatal accident bring them together? Bravo to The Young and the Restless stars Case and Morrow for giving believable, poignant performances as they face this horrific ordeal. The spoilers for The Young and the Restless for Monday, October 20th, 2025, have Phyllis plotting her revenge, Nate receiving a surprise invitation, and Cricket's bachelorette party taking an unexpected turn. Phyllis Summers has buried the hatchet with Sharon Newman, but her other rivalries are still firmly in place. Her longest-running feud is with Cricket Blair Williams, and that is still going strong. Cricket has already asked Daniel Romalotti to do his best to keep Phyllis away from her wedding. But Daniel, who is busy helping Tessa with Mariah, may not be around to stop his mother. On Monday's show, watch for Phyllis to plot her revenge. Does this include making Cricket pay for helping Danny win in court for custody of their son decades ago? Tune in to find out. Nate Hastings has been, understandably, a bit down since things didn't work out with Audra Charles. The man could use a boost. Perhaps he'll get one on Monday's show when Nate receives a surprise invitation. Will Audra reach out to Nate, asking him to meet with her again? Or is this a more social event that will get Nate's mind off his recent woes? On Monday's show, Cricket's bachelorette party is going to take an unexpected turn. Does this mean she's going to cancel the event or postpone it? Maybe she'll combine her gala with the bachelor party that's happening for Danny? The reality is that Danny and Cricket never should have been torn apart in the first place. Phyllis duped Danny into thinking that they'd had sex and that he'd father her son, Daniel. While Danny thinks of Daniel as his own, there is no blood connection between them. Eventually, Phyllis's machinations were exposed and, as a result, her hatred for Cricket has only intensified. Will Phyllis play a role in the unexpected turn involving Cricket's get-together? Tune in to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of October 24 reveals that Claire Newman will make a hospital visit and give Sharon Newman some surprise comfort. Sally Spectra will also make a bold move, so there'll be a lot happening on the CBS soap. For starters, Christine Blair's bachelorette party will take a wrong turn thanks to Phyllis Summers barging in uninvited. The power will ultimately go out at the athletic club, which will affect Danny Romolotti's bachelor gathering as well. However, Phyllis won't be responsible for that power outage, since it'll turn out to be related to some construction problems. Phyllis will try to accept what she can't change when it comes to Danny's future with Christine. This marriage is going down whether Phyllis likes it or not, so she'll tell Danny that she wants him to be happy. Next, Daniel Romolotti Jr. will face Tessa Porter's drunk kiss and will have to make some hard choices in the aftermath. Mariah Copeland's past will also take center stage, so she may imagine Ian Ward and Will Hensley are there haunting her at her facility in Boston. Back with Phyllis, she has some shocking romantic developments coming up, and they'll most likely involve crossing a passionate line with Kane Ashby. Kane and Phyllis will reach an agreement after things head in a surprising direction, so they may agree to be friends with benefits. On the other hand, Phyllis and Kane might agree it can never happen again, though that's an agreement that could easily be broken. In Los Angeles, Nick Newman will track down Sienna Bacall and introduce himself as he searches for more Noah Newman intel. Meanwhile, Claire will visit the hospital and give Sharon some comfort as she worries about Noah's medical condition. Kyle Abbott will also try to expose Holden Novak as a dirty, rotten scoundrel, so he'll take notice of Holden's shady meeting with Sienna and call Claire's attention to it too. Later, Y&R spoilers say Kyle will interrogate Sienna and try to get to the bottom of her Holden connection. Finally, Sally will make a bold move for Audra Charles' sake, so she may fight for her friend's role at Abbott Communications, even if Jill Abbott and Billy Abbott aren't supportive. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally will step up for Audra and hope things work out, so stay tuned for updates on any major career news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, October 21st reveals that Phyllis Summers will engage in some risky behavior while Tessa Porter has a booze-fueled wild night. Y&R fans know that Mariah Copeland seems more depressed and distant than ever. Tessa's visit to Mariah's facility in Boston didn't go well at all, so she'll want to drink away the problems on Tuesday's show. Once Tessa tries to use alcohol to numb her pain, Daniel Romolotti Jr. will see that she could use some help. Tessa will barely be able to stand, so Daniel will think she'd better sleep this off in a suite upstairs at the athletic club. On the way up, Tessa will find another way to distract herself from all her Mariah heartbreak. Daniel's in for a big surprise when Tessa leans in and kisses him passionately. Although Daniel has fallen hard for Tessa, he obviously won't think it's a good idea for passion to erupt like this. Tessa will be drunk and emotionally distraught over Mariah, so Daniel will no doubt push her away for the time being. Over with Kane Ashby, he'll approach Devin Winters and hope they can put any animosity behind them. Kane may hope that by making peace with Devin, it'll serve as the first step toward making peace with Lily and the twins too. However, Kane's goal won't pan out since there's no chance Devin will just forgive and forget. Devin's response may leave Kane more discouraged than ever when it comes to repairing his reputation and fixing his family. As for Phyllis, she'll behave in a way that's awfully risky. We'll see Phyllis do something big and bold, so we'll see if that involves a strategy to impress Kane, or perhaps mixing business with pleasure. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Phyllis is set to get an unexpected love interest soon, so it's possible she'll lock lips with Kane and make their arrangement more complicated. Whatever the case, Phyllis will prove she's a gambling woman when she makes her next move, so stay tuned for updates on the shocking news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, October 20th to November 7th, reveal that Noah Newman will wake up. There'll also be an epic wedding to remember while Detective Burrow gets busted, so Y&R fans won't want to miss all the excitement. The week of October 2024 will bring out Phyllis Summers's troublemaker tendencies, so look for her to wreck Christine Blair's bachelorette bash before having a heart-to-heart with Danny Romalotti. While Tessa Porter kisses Daniel Romalotti Jr. in a drunken moment, Kane Ashby will try to convince Devin Winters that he's a changed man. Kane may end up discouraged in the aftermath and become more willing to surrender to temptation with Phyllis, since all signs point to them sizzling together. At Mariah's facility in Boston, she'll wrestle with her painful history. Mariah will recall the horror she inflicted on Will Hensley, but that was really just a response to the trauma Ian Ward put her through. It looks like Ian may visit Mariah for more tormenting, though that visit will likely just take place in her own mind. On another note, Sally Spectra will make a big play for Audra Charles and perhaps work to help her stay employed at Abbott Communications despite Jill Abbott and Billy Abbott's reservations. Next, Sienna Bacall has some pivotal scenes coming up since she'll meet Nick Newman in person and face questions. Kyle Abbott will also see Sienna talking to Holden Novak, so that'll put Sienna on the inquisitive Abbott's radar and lead to his interrogation of her too. Claire will get updates on Noah's medical crisis and stop by the hospital to see him, so Sharon will appreciate the sweet gesture. By the week of October 27 to 31st, Victoria Newman should make her way to Los Angeles as well. Although Victoria will want to be there for Nick, she may also feel the need to watch over Claire and stop her from making any impulsive moves with Holden. Kyle will remain determined to prove that Holden is bad news and may uncover some shockers on his latest mission. Maybe Kyle could even assist Nick when it comes to figuring out who tried to wipe out Noah. While Kane and Phyllis navigate a possibly passionate new dynamic, Danny and Christine will finish off any final preparations for their nuptials. The big day should finally arrive during the week of November 3 to 7, so Christine and Danny fans will be eager to see them tie the knot. November 4th will also mark Lucas Adams' debut as a Noah Newman recast. Noah's coma wake-up call is ahead, but he may not awaken as quite the same man due to his brain injury. Of course, Detective Burrow will also get busted since he's apparently not doing legitimate police work based on his suspicious phone call. You can bet Nick's going to blast Burrow sooner or later and demand to know who he's actually working for. Roger Howarth's debut is also coming up in the not-too-distant future, so viewers will be eager to see if he's playing Sienna's lover Mitch, or someone else instead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some major revelations will heat things up in LA, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, October 20th, reveals that Christine Blair's crazy insult will trigger Phyllis Summers's bachelorette bash meltdown. At the athletic club, Devin Winters and Abby Winters will visit the Jazz Lounge without realizing it's reserved for Christine's pre-wedding party. Abby will get talked into sticking around and joining Christine for this festive occasion. Devin will also wind up at Danny Romalotti's bachelor celebration, which will be happening upstairs. As for Nate Hastings and Victoria Newman, their plan to have dinner at the GCAC will get nixed thanks to all the party action. It'll work out just fine, since Victoria will land at Christine's bash, while Nate enjoys a night with the guys. Michael Baldwin will be in charge of Danny's bachelor party, which will ultimately include Devin, Nate, and Jack Abbott as well. There'll be some funny stories and marriage advice as Danny prepares for his big day. After Michael spots Phyllis lurking, he'll try to shut down the trouble he'll assume she's going to stir up. Phyllis won't listen and will sneak down to Christine's bachelorette gathering anyway once she gets updates on the party news. Christine will be having a wonderful time with Abby, Victoria, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Tracy Abbott, and Diane Jenkins Abbott when Phyllis wrecks the fun. Although Christine will suggest she thought they got all their barbs out earlier, Phyllis will counter that she's got a bottomless bag of barbs and will push the bugs buttons again. Lauren will pull Phyllis away from the actual guests and try to get rid of her. Christine will eventually follow them and get under Phyllis's skin by calling her crazy. After Phyllis nearly attacks Christine twice, she'll finally stomp back upstairs and rant to Danny about his bride-to-be going too far. Once Phyllis is gone, Danny and Christine will end up combining their parties into one giant love fest in the jazz lounge. Unfortunately, the power will go out and plunge them all into darkness, so several partygoers will think Phyllis could be at fault. However, Phyllis will seem confused about the power outage in the dining area. Danny will reappear and wonder if she was responsible. But Nate will insist a failed transformer from a construction site is to blame, since he asked a staff member. Once Danny is alone with Phyllis, she'll get weepy over Christine calling her crazy, since she'll indeed feel like she went crazy when she was held hostage with Sharon Newman. Phyllis will try to make peace with Danny's marriage decision since she'll want his happiness, so they'll be on good terms as this discussion winds down. That said, Phyllis will opt to skip the joint party when Danny urges her to come back down with him on Monday's Y&R episode. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Danny will end the festivities with a song, so it'll be a great way to conclude the Bachelor and Bachelorette shindigs. On The Young and the Restless, the Los Angeles storyline is getting more intriguing every day. A handful of Genoa City residents are in LA now, and we wouldn't be surprised if a few more fly there within the next week or two. This storyline feels similar to the Nice story when half the characters were invited to France to discover who Alexander Dumas was. Here are 4 more Y&R characters who could travel to Los Angeles. We've been hearing about Audra's mysterious LA past with Holden ever since he arrived in Genoa City in January. We still don't know anything about the dark secret they've been keeping, but we know it must be a doozy, since he seems ashamed to tell Claire about it. Apparently, Audra did something heinous, and Holden covered it up. Every time we see them in a private conversation, he makes ominous comments like, "If everyone knew what happened, you would be ruined." Maybe she should fly to LA so we can finally get this secret out in the open. It's been dragging on long enough. Inquiring minds want to know. Victor wants to fly to LA because his grandson Noah was in a car accident that left him with severe head injuries, and there is a risk of brain damage. Nick asked Victor to contact the best doctor he could so they could give Noah the best possible chance for survival. We know all Victor has to do is pick up a phone, and voila! A world-famous surgeon will appear. The mustache doesn't waste any time. He makes things happen. But what if Victor has another reason for being in LA, besides being a loving, supportive grandfather? What if he is somehow involved in the secret that Holden and Audra are keeping? Maybe he knows what the secret is, and he's been keeping it undercover for some cryptic reason. Y&R fans are always saying Victor is involved in all the storylines. Could he possibly be involved in this one too? Let's face it, Phyllis needs something interesting to do. In the past few weeks, all she's really been doing is poking her nose into Daniel's love life, telling Danny and Christine their upcoming marriage won't last, and trying to convince Victor that her business venture with Kane is going to be a success. Phyllis deserves a good storyline, and LA seems like the perfect place for a fiery woman like her. We can picture her having fun in the sun every day, hanging out at the coolest hotspots every night, and raising all kinds of hell in the City of Angels. Maybe she can even lend Sharon some support in the hospital, now that the two ex-enemies are on friendlier terms. Sharon is terrified of losing Noah. She could use a friend's shoulder to cry on. Nick is there for her, but at a rough time like this, she can use as much support as she can get. Kane and Holden are business partners, but we rarely see them communicating. Maybe they could meet up in LA, and we can finally find out what kind of plan the two of them are cooking up for all the big GC companies. It feels like there's something going on between them that they've been keeping under wraps for months. Some fans even speculate they may turn out to be related to each other. Stranger things have happened on The Young and the Restless, and who knows? Maybe LA is the place where they first learned they're related. Does Phyllis even know that Holden is Kane's partner? She works for Kane, but still seems to be in the dark about it. Maybe it's time for her to meet Holden. Maybe it's time for all 3 of them to sit down and have an informal business meeting. It will be interesting to see how she sizes up Holden who's been a man of mystery the whole time he's been on Y&R. Will she like him, or will she sense something fishy about him? We can picture Kane playing referee if she gets suspicious and starts asking Holden questions about his background. Maybe she could even be the one who discovers his secret with Audra before anyone else does. Young and the Restless, spoilers for October 20 to 24, 2025. Reveal Sally Spectra pushing back, and Nick Newman absolutely furious. As we always do on early edition day, we start with what is going to happen the rest of this week, and then we're going to talk about what's ahead next week, so you have the context for all those spoilers. Kyle Abbott heads to Los Angeles to win back Claire Grace Newman. He shows up at her hotel with flowers, smiling, but she's not happy to see him. Kyle confesses that Victoria Newman told him where to find her, and Claire doesn't like that at all. Still, he insists he's there to protect her from Holden Novak. Claire pushes back hard. She told Kyle she needed time and space, but there he is again. When he asks her out for that night, she refuses, saying she already has plans with Holden. When Kyle keeps pressing, Claire makes it clear she's made her choice. Holden shows up, and Kyle demands he leave them alone. Claire reluctantly gives Kyle a few minutes while Holden waits downstairs. Kyle opens up about his heartbreak, upset that Claire dumped him and ran off with Holden. Claire shrugs, reminding him she asked for breathing room, but he kept trying to control her. His behavior only reinforces why she left. Kyle insists he loves her, but Claire says she needs to find herself and can't do that under his watchful eye. Meanwhile, back in Genoa City, Victoria tells Nate Hastings about Noah Newman's car crash. Nate plans a large donation to University Hospital in honor of his late brother. Victoria also regrets giving Kyle Claire's location. Back in LA, Sharon Newman tells Nick their son Noah suffered serious injuries, facial and skull damage. After surgery, Noah pulls through, but his parents are shaken. Sharon is distraught that another of her children has been hurt after Cassie and Faith's accidents. They can't understand why Noah was all the way out in Malibu so late at night. Nick recalls Noah seeming nervous the last time they talked. When they finally see him, his face is completely bandaged. On Thursday, October 16th, Sharon and Nick cross paths with a mysterious stranger, Detective Burrow, who's investigating Noah's crash. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland is stunned by a surprise visit from Tessa Porter at the mental health facility where she's receiving treatment on Young and the Restless. Nikki Newman decides to handle matters personally and confronts Kane Ashby about his dangerous AI project. On Friday, October 17th, Audra Charles faces a painful reminder of her past. It could involve Nate, Amy Lewis, or even Holden. At the same time, Nick continues digging for the truth behind Noah's crash, while Jack Abbott tries to mend fences with Billy Abbott. For the week of October 20th through the 24th, Kyle returns home from LA and lashes out at Audra, blaming her for everything, including Claire's exit with Holden. Meanwhile, Victor Newman, Adam Newman, and Chelsea Lawson. Newman believe they've cornered Kane, but his alliance with Phyllis Summers could turn deadly if provoked. Billy struggles as Jill Abbott departs Genoa City for treatment in London. He's frustrated by her constant favoritism toward Kane and her influence over Abbottcom's funding. We'll also see tension between Sienna Bacall and Holden as past secrets threaten to surface. Nick remains focused on uncovering who targeted Noah, teaming up with Detective Burrow to get to the truth. Though Claire isn't cruel, she firmly rejects Kyle's pleas. He lingers in LA, hoping she'll change her mind, but Claire may need to tell him bluntly to leave town. Kyle's insistence on control may be the final straw for her. For now, she's moving on. With Holden and without him. In Genoa City, peace never lasts for long, and once again, the storm has a name. Phyllis Summers. What should have been a night of laughter and love at Christine Blair's bachelorette celebration turned into an unforgettable display of chaos and heartbreak. Christine, radiant in the glow of her upcoming wedding to Danny Romalotti, was surrounded by friends, Lauren, Tracy, Victoria, and Diane, all toasting to new beginnings. For once, it seemed like the past had finally been put to rest. But when Phyllis appeared, uninvited and unmistakably angry, the entire atmosphere shifted. She didn't come to celebrate. She came to confront. With her sharp tone and fiery eyes, Phyllis made it clear that she wasn't ready to let Christine's happiness stand unchallenged. Her words dripped with resentment as she accused Christine of stealing Danny's love and rewriting history to erase her. The tension in the room was electric. Jack tried to calm her, but Phyllis only grew more defiant, shouting that Christine wasn't a saint, she was a thief. The outburst spiraled fast. As voices rose and old grudges reignited, Christine finally snapped. "Get her out!" she ordered coldly. But before security could move, Phyllis's fury reached its breaking point. Her words cut through the air like glass. "You think you can shut me out? I'll be at your wedding, and when I show up, I'll bring a bomb big enough to blow your perfect day apart." The room froze. It wasn't clear if she meant it literally or not, but in Genoa City, no one could take that kind of threat lightly. Christine's anger turned to fear. Danny stood pale and silent, guilt shadowing his face. The party ended in chaos as Michael Baldwin rushed in, urging Phyllis to stop before she crossed a line she could never return from. Her only answer was chilling. "Maybe I already have." Later, as the guests tried to make sense of what had happened, one thing was certain: Phyllis had gone too far. Christine was visibly shaken. Jack and Michael were already discussing security, and Danny couldn't hide his heartbreak. "She used to be someone I cared about," he admitted quietly. "Now I don't even recognize her." Outside, alone in the cold night, Phyllis trembled. For a fleeting moment, regret crossed her face, but it vanished just as quickly. "They think I'm the villain," she muttered. "Fine, let them." Whether the bomb was a metaphor or a real threat, no one could be sure. But as Christine and Danny's wedding draws closer, Genoa City is bracing for impact. Phyllis isn't just lashing out. She's unraveling, caught between jealousy and obsession, teetering on the edge of madness. Y&R spoilers. Audra's walls crumble as Noah's case exposes her darkest secrets. Audra Charles has always been Genoa City's ultimate enigma, a woman who plays her cards so close to her chest they're practically embedded in her armor. She navigates the corporate world and her personal life with a calculated, cool detachment. However, Young and the Restless spoilers indicate her carefully constructed world is about to shatter, as she finds herself the central figure in the investigation threatening to consume the Newman family, Noah Newman's near-death experience. The tension is escalating as the GCPD zeroes in on Audra, suspecting her involvement in the events surrounding Noah's accident. It's clear this was no simple mishap, and the investigation is pointing towards something far more sinister. Audra, already walking a tightrope of deception, is now being forced to navigate a full-blown police inquiry, with the very real possibility of facing criminal charges. This intense pressure is dredging up a past Audra has fought desperately to keep buried. All roads lead back to her time in Los Angeles and a mysterious man named Holden. Spoilers suggest Holden once saved Audra from a situation that threatened to unravel her entire life. But Savior has now turned to accuser. Holden's reemergence brings dark truths to light, and his accusations suggest Audra's hands are far from clean. What makes this situation so explosive isn't just the legal jeopardy, it's the emotional conflict tearing Audra apart. Despite her icy exterior, Noah Newman is the one person who ever managed to truly break through her defenses. Their relationship was complicated and ended badly, but the feelings were undeniably real. In a world where Audra uses emotional distance as a weapon, Noah was her one exception. The news of his accident has shaken her to the core, proving she is still emotionally tethered to him. Now, her lingering affection for Noah is in a direct battle with her powerful instinct for self-preservation. Audra is harboring a dangerous secret. She knows far more about the circumstances of Noah's accident than she is admitting, and the truth may be more sinister than anyone suspects. It seems Holden's actions may have played a direct part in the events that led to Noah's accident, and Audra's silence is, in effect, protecting him. She is caught in an impossible dilemma. Does she maintain her silence to protect Holden and the secrets of her past, thereby risking being implicated as an accessory to the crime? Or does she finally come clean? Nick Newman is desperate for answers and is growing frustrated as the investigation stalls. He needs to know what happened to his son, and he's beginning to realize Audra may be the only person who holds the key. As the walls close in, Audra must choose. Will she protect her dark past, or will she risk it all for a chance at redemption and a potential future? As Noah continues to recover, a reunion is not off the table. The on-screen chemistry between Audra and Noah is palpable, but can they possibly rebuild their relationship if the truth reveals Audra helped cover up the very event that nearly killed him? The Young and the Restless recap for Monday, October 20th, reveals that Phyllis Summers will get accused of causing a power outage as two parties go wrong. At the GCAC, Nate Hastings will arrive for his dinner with Victoria Newman, but they'll quickly realize the place seems awfully empty. Danny Romalotti will show up for his bachelor party with Michael Baldwin and Jack Abbott, so Nate and Victoria will realize Danny rented the place out, including the jazz lounge for Christine Blair's party downstairs. Y&R spoilers say Victoria will join Christine's bachelorette bash while Nate joins the men's group. A similar situation will play out with Abby Winters and Devin Winters when they stop by the jazz lounge. After hearing the news about the bachelor and bachelorette parties, Abby will celebrate with the women while Devin drinks with the guys upstairs. At one point, Phyllis will walk through the GSAC door and grow curious about all the festivities. Michael will warn Phyllis not to cause trouble and try to send her up to her suite, but Phyllis will mutter about him not being the boss of her and crash Christine's party anyway. Christine will be in the jazz lounge with Abby, Victoria, Tracy Abbott, Diane Jenkins Abbott, and Lauren Fenmore Baldwin. When Phyllis derails things, Lauren will drag Phyllis away from the others and call her a heat-seeking bitch when it comes to Christine, but Phyllis will act like Christine is the problem. Christine will eventually saunter over and call Phyllis crazy during a confrontation, which will really strike a nerve. Phyllis will have to be held back as she lunges at Christine, and it'll happen again after Christine calls her unhinged. Once Phyllis finally decides to leave this loser party, she'll go upstairs and rant to Danny about Christine going too far. Phyllis will head up to her room while Danny and his guests visit the jazz lounge, where they'll combine the bachelor and bachelorette celebrations in the end. When the power suddenly goes out in the building, there'll be suspicions and a debate over whether Phyllis could have pulled that off. Danny will seek Phyllis out in the lobby and demand to know if she did this, but Nate will pop up and explain that a manager said it happened due to some nearby construction. Phyllis will speak with Danny alone and cry over Christine calling her crazy, since she'll think maybe the bug is right after that whole captivity nightmare. However, Phyllis will ultimately admit she's moved on and wants Danny to be happy. Danny will share a sweet moment with Phyllis, who'll decline his offer to rejoin the bash downstairs. Danny will wrap up this special episode with a song and cheers from all the guests. After Danny tells Christine he can't wait to marry her, she'll point out that he won't have to wait long. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Christine and Danny's wedding day is just around the corner, so stay tuned for updates on the upcoming event. CDL's where you want to be for the hottest Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and news, so make us your one-stop Y&R source. Things are heating up in the Young and Restless spoilers preview for the week of October 20th. Kyle is still in Los Angeles and spies Holden talking with Sienna discreetly in the corner of the rooftop eatery where he previously saw Claire. "What are you doing?" Claire asks Kyle, having come up behind him as he watches Holden. Kyle smugly turns around to face his former girlfriend and asks, "The more important question is, what is Holden doing? And who is he doing it with?" How will Claire react to Kyle's question? Phyllis crashes the bachelorette party being thrown for Christine at the jazz lounge. The women are caught off guard. "So sweet, not a dry eye in the house," Phyllis says as she enters the room filled with joy, obviously bitter to be on the outside looking in. In attendance, drinking champagne are Lauren, Tracy, Diane, Victoria, and Abby. "What are you doing here?" Christine asks, obviously displeased to see her rival interrupting her special party. Determined to cause trouble, Phyllis snaps, "Is this a private party, or can anyone join?" What will the women do next? Tessa, heartbroken by her wife Mariah, struggles to make it up the stairs. She's stumbling as Daniel tries to help her. Whoa, I got you," Daniel tells his music tutor. As they come to a stop, they suddenly kiss. Get a sneak peek at some of the drama coming up this week on Y&R in the preview video below, and share your own predictions of what's coming up in the comments. And don't forget to check out our spoilers gallery for a look at what's next on all the soaps the week of October 20. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal fans will find out more about Holden Novak's dark secrets, as well as Sienna Bacall's struggles, and the secrets of his character's backstory and past being revealed, even has Nathan Owens himself on the edge of his seat. Holden faced his past in Los Angeles alongside Claire Newman. In the latest episode of The Young and the Restless, he ran into Sienna, who knows the history between Holden and Audra Charles. Meanwhile, Nathan Owens is still discovering new things about the character he plays. He's been trying to keep his past hidden while starting over in Genoa City. Owens says his character remains a mystery for all of us. As the story unfolds, Y&R viewers will see more of Holden's troubled past come to light. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, Owens admitted that he's still getting to know his character, including his tricky backstory. Holden shares a past with Audra and Sienna, who made her debut on the Tuesday, October 14th episode. Owens is on the same ride as the viewers. He's loving the journey. Owens even offered his own input on the character. I've written some other things on my own as well, from the beginning, but it's interesting to see how it all unfolds in the minds of the writers as well, he noted. In January, Holden was initially introduced as Damian Kane, but it turns out that he was pretending to be him. He had a past with Audra when they both lived in Los Angeles. Most of his past will come back to haunt him as time goes along. It's a mystery for all of us, including Owens himself, and he's enjoying seeing the pieces fit together. Getting to know Holden is like peeling back the layers of a very complicated onion. Some Y&R fans think they have him figured out, but there's more to his story than just being a good-looking guy who made some bad choices. Sienna's conversation with Holden raised even more questions about his past. Holden's history with Sienna is also connected to his past with Audra, which he's been trying hard to leave behind. Still, it seems likely that his past will catch up with him. In the interview, Owens couldn't reveal what happened in Los Angeles, but his character is worried that his secret might come out. Holden is aware of how ruthless Audra can be, and he wants to keep Claire away from his old life. If his past is revealed in Genoa City, Owens hinted that a lot of doors potentially would close for him. Holden just got the chance to work with Kane Ashby, but that opportunity could disappear quickly. As viewers know, Kane can change his mind at any time. Therefore, Holden is walking a tightrope working for Kane. He could easily slip to one side or another and ultimately crash.